What's up, everybody? This is SOS Rampage is back at you with our SOS Wrestling Rewind. We are going along 20 years in the past from today and reviewing the TNA Genesis pay-per-view. I'm laughing. Would you like to finish your story about your Daniel Bryan shirt as we were
Yeah.
passing by?
Yes. Yeah. So as we were finishing up our conversation to begin the show, I was looking at this. I was doing this, and I was like, "Yo, I should have got that shirt like this that said Steph, Steph, Steph. I should have."
Oh, I should have let you finish. All right. Would you like to say who you are now?
I am the Stephanie loving SOS Farm. You can find me on YouTube under Farm27 and sometimes creeping in my main man's Twitch stream under SOS Farm. But other than that, you are.
And I'm SOS Rampages. You can find me obviously on this YouTube that you see me on now. You can check out the video game content. You can check out our different content. We doing some nightclub simulator together. I got some all simulator myself, doing some WWE 2K25 content, doing some UFC stuff, all sorts of stuff down the line. If you want to see us review any more wrestling content of the sorts, I need to learn to look right at the camera, not there. Look there. But yeah, no, if you want to, get any other content, let us know in the comments and different things like that. But with that being said, let's get into our TNA Genesis. Do you have any overall grade on the card? Overall, like how you feel about the event? I'll say this off rip: it's better than Taboo Tuesday. Better than Taboo Tuesday,
It was
easily.
it was better than Taboo Tuesday.
Do I think it will be better than Survivor Series? Maybe, maybe not. We'll let that play out for itself, and we'll see. It might compete. This definitely had some TNA moments and stuff and things, but some of it, looking back at it, it's like old school WCW. You love it a little bit because it's terrible. That's just kind of what it is for.
it,
I'd go with like a solid B. It's not like the greatest TNA card in the world, but a solid B foundation. I'll take that.
I'll give it a C plus because they offered me a lot of things that I look back on now, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I remember. But like also, as a whole, the pay per view didn't give me enough. You almost had
We're
like
setting up a lot here for the next couple feuds, the next couple things going on. This one really didn't finish any feuds off per se. Like a lot of it, like the Sabu Abyss leads to Barbed Wire Massacre down the line. You got Christian that's just arriving, so we're
oh,
setting up all that stuff with Christian.
hey. Also for the record, Rampage is more down with this era of TNA, and I wasn't watching this era as much, so he knows what's gonna happen, and I'm seeing
I have like a ballpark idea of what's gonna happen. I haven't like watched it back fully, like
yeah.
pay per view to pay per view to pay per view, but I've seen a lot of the pay per views, and I can kind of fill in the blanks and the gaps. But it's the same thing with like the Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels build up. Like that was a lot of like going forward. This is going to be huge. Like it's big. This was a show, and this is also why I know about a lot of this stuff is because I did get one of the DVDs that was like the top 50 moments or 100 moments of TNA. And that was like a bunch of the stuff on this one, like the Christian arrival, like the Samoa Joe beatdown, like those things lead into and they're big moments for TNA. The matches itself didn't really have that kind of payoff feel, but we had some good stuff on there match wise. But
I
we've
know about I know about 25% about what he knows about for this era.
But with that being said, let's kind of get into the action a little bit since we've rambled on the beginning of this end. We started off with Raven versus PJ Polacco, aka Justin Credible, as far as that's concerned. Larry Zabisco can go somewhere else. In every company that I ever see him in, I want him to go everywhere but here.
Now,
PJ Polacco and Raven. Raven is trying to be as respectful as possible here.
the match went 5 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yes. It was a little bit clunky. It was they had an idea, and it's also, I don't know, and this is where the respect, and like he could have been going for a different. It was very MMA style. As someone that watches UFC pretty heavily, they did a lot of MMA type transitions, and you just don't really expect that out of Raven and PJ Polacco. Um, but yeah, that's that
I feel like they were limited.
a little bit.
You got Abyss and Sabu, and then you also got the main event with Rhino and 3D. You know, like, hey guys, don't go out there and be too hardcore. And they're like, all right, hey, you want to try to have a match we never had before? I guess I don't know what else to do. I mean, you know, I feel like they were limited, but
Yeah.
I don't know why Larry Zabisco was involved in this storyline.
So Larry Zabisco is like their head of committee. Their, I think it's the head of championship committee or something, like the main authority figure. And it's Raven, so Raven obviously doesn't like any authority figure, especially in TNA to start. Like he was very much of that's basically how his world title run goes and everything like that is very much so like he's the anti-authority figure, basically doing a lot of what CM Punk would do about 7-ish years later with that. Like he left with the belt, he did
CM,
all that.
CM Punk with John Laurinaitis.
A lot of that, like he did
Oh,
that
oh,
same kind of storyline of like I'm the champion, I'm gonna leave with it. Kind of idea.
you're the guy in charge. You're my boss. You tell me what to do.
Mm,
Okay, I get it. I'm
so
just wondering, like, why is Larry Zabisco in a storyline with like the ECW, you know, heart and soul, you know, like
well,
that,
because Larry obviously wanted to be a part of the flock back in the day, and Raven just wouldn't let him. The flock was more over than he was, so that's.
yeah. But, I mean, he was not on the cover of WCW versus NWO Revenge.
Hmm.
He was in the game, but he was not on the cover.
Yes. Moving on, I believe the next was Three Live Crew versus Team Canada in their hockey stick on a pole match because Vince Russo. I the it was something. It was, and Kip James was on
He was the special
special
referee.
guest special guest referee.
There were shenanigans going on. Kip James and BG James were working together. Obviously, the whole time, the New Age Outlaws. There's a rule in the WWF that was put in place. It's called the Outlaw Rule because these two did so many shenanigans. I saw it immediately. And then Conan got involved too.
And Truth, they all got involved. There was double hockey stick to the nuts for the victory. It was great. It was like a what's up with a double hockey stick to the nuts. True. We did find this out by watching this match, and I want y'all to remember this. Ron Killings, no arachnophobia. Our Truth, arachnophobia. Remember that. He can climb here.
Yes.
He can't climb when he's on Our Truth. These are important facts. BG James can climb as Road Dog, can't climb as BG James because he's too scared or didn't want to. I can't remember. It was one of the two.
You're losing me.
That's fine. We lost a lot in this match. It was not great. It
Yeah, because
was
Team Canada lost. And that's a loss for the whole nation, the world, the universe, the Milky Way galaxy.
it's a loss for Canada, therefore the world.
I, I don't know how big to make this.
Speaking of great, I had to write this down just because it happened and it made me so happy. Abyss had a backstage segment with James Mitchell where James Mitchell is doing it was I mean it was a good promo and everything, but he's describing how Abyss has barbed wire phobia. So the man cuts himself, falls with attacks, glass. But barbed wire, that's just too much. And then proceeds to squeeze an egg in his hand, saying that it's Sabu. Seeing the yolk just everywhere.
Well, Sabu is so small to him, he can just crush him, and then all the Sabu juice will just drip all over the ring, and the match will be over. No barbed wire.
Made me so happy for no reason. I don't know why, but it made me so
Obviously,
happy.
as a child, Abyss tried to escape from his household home, and there was a barbed wire fence, and he got caught in it. and like that's the only thing that's ever been able to stop him is
That's why he
booking.
wears a mask, is because he's just got barbed wire rip all over
Yeah,
his face. Yeah, no, I get
the
it.
stars, the hair, the tangles, like you see how he acts when he's in it. He almost becomes like his brother.
Next, we had the arrival of Captain Charisma Christian Cage, which, big deal for TNA, big deal for wrestling at the time because, I mean, like he said in the promo, which like most people when they jump ship to another company, and especially to TNA, we got to take subtle shots up north because that's what we do. But it was a big deal for him to say and be honest about, he didn't get cut. He decided to leave for himself to make better for himself. I mean, doing a lot of what the modern day wrestlers have done, I guess 5 years ago, whatever, like the Cody Rhodes, all the no, Drew McIntyres doing that kind of idea of like, if you're not going to push me, if you don't believe in me as at this certain spot, I'm gonna go somewhere and I'm gonna show you I can be that guy, and then come back and get that world title run that he did deserve in WWE. So like, good on him for that. Good on him for risking it, not taking the money, and just making good content for us. Because at the end of the day, like we don't get any of this run, we don't get any of Christian
Yeah,
Cage, we don't get any of it without that. So,
yeah.
um,
This was a big deal. Like he was fighting Cena and Jericho and like triple threat matches for the WWE title, and then he chose to like go over to the. He chose to cross the line,
mm.
and I don't like. This was before another big deal that's about to happen that we're not going to get into yet because it hasn't happened yet. But did anybody else like? Was he the first? Is he the
So
Columbus of this?
he, as far as like Christopher Columbus, yes, of choosing to, as far
Yeah.
as I know, and this is also why I really got into TNA at the time as a kid, is because, and I know some people obviously argue that like the '09, like 2010 roster with Hogan and all them is like a little bit stronger because they have developed these stars. But this to me as a wrestling fan and as a kid, it felt like this where TNA had the momentum starting to build. They were getting some of these guys like in the main event here. Rhino was another one where he jumped ship of like, we
Mm.
didn't even know what happened to Rhino for a little bit in WWE. Like he was basically in the Invasion storyline, maybe like some tag teams here and there, and then just poof, Rhino was gone. And then
Yeah.
Rhino came back in TNA with all of this momentum. I mean, it was pretty similar to Raven. Raven did a lot of the same thing of like that kind of tapered off and after the Invasion storyline, and then poof, we got him
Yeah.
back in TNA as a world champion. Ron Killing's a lot of the same thing. It felt like they were properly using these players that were used in WWE at the time, and that's where the momentum kind of built. And then, like you had said, they're building to get more and more of these pieces. Till I want to say about like '08, I honestly think personally, and this is a wrestling fan's perspective, of the Hogan Bischoff thing kind of killed the momentum a little bit, and kind of like that's where they kind of took a left turn, and
Yeah.
it just didn't seem the same after that. It felt like it went real Hollywood and real, like where it felt very grassroots to the start, and it felt like they were building something, and then it just kind of. Also, they really didn't know what to do after Joe run, as well as we'll get to it down the line when we get to there. But like some of the guys that they bring in from WWE were looking for a little bit of a paycheck. We're not necessarily looking for that next step up. And we'll get into that. And I'll do my best to be respectful towards certain members that I'm going to probably end up taking a little bit of shots at. But they've also been called out in multiple spaces for a lot of these things too.
Right.
Team Canada tries to ingratiate their new Canadian brethren, with Christian coming aboard, giving him the shirt, telling him, you ain't even got to do nothing with it. Just think about it. Just think, I don't even want an answer right now. So you kind of figured that's going to be followed up with later in the night, which we end up doing. After that, we have Jeff Hardy versus Monty Brown.
The
Uh,
Pounds.
I believe this might be for a shot at the world title, if I'm not mistaken. It might be number one contender. It's at least like,
Determined the number one contender for the
yeah,
NWA a world
That's
heavy
what I
championship.
That's what I thought. Not a bad match as far as that's concerned. It was, I mean, I remember I wrote down Jeff Hardy running across like the impact zone, like and jumping over a crowd of people that he was about to kind of kick in the face. Um, this is this is one of those showcases of Jeff being possibly not on the right mind state. He definitely had some spots in this match that looked a little clunky, but it also could have been, I don't know how many times he's wrestled Monty Brown. Like it could have been, two people that aren't used to working with each other. So we give him the benefit of the doubt on that one
Right.
as far as that's concerned. Right person went over, I believe. I mean, they were really trying to build him up at the time with Monty.
Yeah.
So like
Monty
uh,
won in 8 minutes and 43 seconds.
they never really pulled the trigger fully on him, but they were really trying to build that up at the time, and that was their top star. He just had an innate charisma about him and the ability to work that you can't teach, and that's
One of the main reasons why I watched it back then.
he's a big what if in the wrestling business in general, and I respect him for his personal reasons to stop and stuff like that, and I'm happy that he's happy, kind of idea, but definitely big what if. Um,
He's bad.
After that, we had our X Division showcase. Basically, we had Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Roderick Strong, and Alex Shelley versus Austin Aries, Matt Bentley, Sanjay Dutt, and Chris Sabin in an elimination match of all things. Nobody got eliminated for a while. They everybody got their stuff in. They really showcased the X Division very, very well here as far as like what it's capable of, the technical prowess, the high flying, just everything, and as well as what I think TNA's probably done. I would argue better than any other company with a light heavyweight cruiserweight division of giving the X division individualized personalities. Of you could tell each of them had a gimmick. And I mean, people can hate Russo for different things, but like that is one of his strong suits of like he's not going to let them fly around and go off of their technical abilities or their high flying abilities. He gave all of them a distinct personality that kind of set them apart, and at least to me made them stick out even a little bit more than some of the other blander people. I mean, I don't know. I do like that about it. Definitely showcase strong Joe. I mean, that was their big key item at the time, especially towards the end of it. I mean, him and Daniels were a big key of that X division. They gave Bentley a lot of time. They gave Saban a lot of time too. As far as the after match, I mean, Joe absolutely murders Chris Saban, bloodies him up. I think I think he took the pin or something like that. I can't even remember. I think Joe was just pissed off, as Joe do. We've learned this at this time. Joe just be getting pissed off, and you just when Joe get pissed off, you get out the way. I don't know what to tell you.
This match went 23 minutes and 15 seconds. It was the longest match of the pay per view, and for me, this was like the biggest showcase of talent that TNA had at the time, with like Shelley and Daniels, Strong, Joe, Aries, Saban. I didn't know who Matt Bentley was, but by the end of the match, I knew who he was. So
Mm.
like they did their job. Sanjay was out there, Tracy Brooks was out there, like, and the fact that it was an elimination match, like you really didn't know how it was gonna end or where it was gonna go. It was
Yeah.
like a random Survivor Series match out of nowhere, and
And I
I'm
think they did that on purpose a little bit, being in November and having WWE coming up with Survivor Series next month. I
yeah,
think they wanted to show like, oh, we can do
yeah,
a Survivor Series match too. Look at us.
yeah. I'm always down with a random 4-on-4 style Survivor Series elimination match.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Anything else? I mean, Joe's team wins, even though he kills Daniels afterwards, and yeah, it's gonna lead to a lot of fun stuff with Joe and Daniels and AJ.
I don't know what to tell you. Get away from Joe.
Fair enough. Next we had Sabu and Abyss in there. Was it technically a no DQ match, or was this one of those TNA matches that was just like do whatever you want?
It says no disqualification match.
Okay, so this is an actual no disqualification match. I argue that this is one of those matches that WWE looked at and was like, huh, look at Sabu. He can work a little bit. We'll give that a shot. He's all right because this was one of those where Sabu was kind of on. Did he do the triple moonsault and knee Abyss square in the face?
Yes.
Yes, but
Yes.
that's what's to be expected with Sabu. But like a lot of his springboards that he does flub up at times, he was pretty on point. His springboards to the outside, a lot of his moves, the fact that the match went, I mean, I don't know the exact timing. I want to say it was like 15-ish minutes. Like it went.
I give Sabu a 83% accuracy rate on this match
And that's great for Sabu.
compared to his usual 7% accuracy rate. So, he was definitely on tonight. Like, he hit a lot of his stuff very on the square.
So, and this is like right before WWE do pick him up for that ECW retread. So, like, I can see them really kind of seeing if this is kind of one of those matches.
Better get him before he's bad, Val.
Yeah, obviously had to bring out the barbed wire because of Abyss's fear of the barbed wire. So we had to. No, I don't want. Even though I'm gonna put you into tax, there were so many rough spots as you can imagine.
Yeah,
Sabu
monsters need a weakness.
it's I don't know if it was just me watching it and not realizing or whatever, but like those tacks seem extra big, especially sticking out of Sabu's back. They seem like they were giant, like acupuncture tacks, like. And I don't know if that was just Sabu enjoying it and rolling around in it like he do, and Abyss having to do a splash into it. Abyss is one of those that like
Sabu brought his own tax. But Abyss was like, "We're doing tax tonight," and Sabu's like, "Yeah, I brought some."
I'm
He's
starting to truly realize as I get older that some of this is I was desensitized to it. Now I'm getting more sensitized to it. I'm like, that looks so terrible. That looks so terrible. That looks so
Mhm.
awful. Someone get him off there. I think if I remember correctly, the finish is like a black hole slam onto like a barbed wire wrapped chair,
Yes, yeah.
and
He
they just
spins him
lay Sabu on that chair.
up.
And man just laid there for like a hot minute. We couldn't get him off there like right away. It's like, right, what are we doing? But all right, that's that there. And
You want to
AJ
watch
Styles,
matches?
it's funny how they built this match. It's like Sabu and Abyss in their bloody mess of a match. Then you have like this classic with AJ and Petey, and then you have the nonsense in the main event. It's like they just shit show. Good match, shit show.
It's
But
called
yeah,
it's called a palate cleanser.
yeah, AJ Styles versus Petey Williams for the X Division title. Great match. I don't think AJ Styles and Petey Williams are allowed to have a bad match.
No,
It's just not possible. I mean AJ and a lot of people in this era are just not allowed to have a bad match. But Petey at this point, this is Petey's height right here. Is Petey as like, and it's so very interesting too because of how it was built, and is very cool that of that Team Canada, he was the guy. Like Petey was the dude. It harkened back to that Lance Storm kind of idea in WCW of like, yeah, he's a cruiserweight. Yeah, he's the guy. What about it? Bobby will be the guy eventually. That's fine. He's the young up and comer. He'll be there, but our guy is Petey
all
Williams.
right.
GG. He's the champ.
You don't think he's the guy? Fight him in the ring.
Yeah. So like
We don't have to.
it's
We don't have to say anything else. We say he's the guy. You don't believe it? Have a match with him.
and then you have these absolute psychopaths doing a German to the floor into the guardrail because I'm AJ Styles and I want to end my career sooner than I need to.
No, I'm AJ Styles, and I know how to land on my feet and do this and make it look like it hurts.
No, no.
I'm going.
AJ,
I
this,
got.
this is going to be the most painful part of this TNA watch along because I do know from listening to interviews with him and different people talk of like he shortened his career big time with a lot of these dumb spots that he admits were just dumb spots that don't need to happen,
They
that
all.
don't get you that any more over. It doesn't help with your any like
Oh,
nothing was
yo, Jim,
necessary.
Jim, Jim, calm down. I hear you. This
Ugh.
match.
AJ Styles wins.
Yeah.
You know,
This
it's
match went 18 minutes and 20 seconds. a phenomenal match, if I do say myself. Petey Williams, at, like Rampage said, at the height of his not his career, but like at the height of his
His run.
yeah, yeah. Like I mean, the 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 match before the main event with AJ Styles for a championship, like that's bucket list stuff, right?
Mm,
And this is like back in the day. No wonder you're backstage as a producer. Yo, man, can you tell me what I need to? Yo, would you do if you were having my match tonight?
fair enough.
Please, Petey, please.
Mm. And then we ended the night off, and I think yeah, we had Joe come out with the bloody towel, looking at AJ, kind
Yeah,
of
that was my first time seeing Joe with the bloody tail. I never.
that's the first time I've seen Joe was with the bloody towel, and that gets a man over. Of like, are you gonna carry around the blood of your enemies? I never thought about that, never considered that, and it was a good look.
I didn't know he did that. I,
Um,
I've always seen him with a clean towel.
we ended the night with Team ECW, aka Team 3D, and Team Rhino versus Team Jarrett, aka Jeff Jarrett and AMW.
A book, okay.
I don't know if this was scheduled to be not a match, but it wasn't a match. They made it a match by the end, but it was just a brawl through the stands. It was just.
It ended in the ring,
It did end in the ring.
but but most of it was everywhere else until the referee made the pin.
There's a cheese grater involved because why not? We talked about this as probably one of the most dangerous spots we've seen in a while. It was a bottle throw spot where James Storm just whipped a bottle at Bully Ray.
Yeah,
And Bully Ray,
yeah.
he's so happy he didn't pizza when he should have French fried, because if he went right when he should have went left, whoo, we get hit with a bottle square to the back.
Yeah, so Bully Ray's like backed against the wall, and James Storm comes out of nowhere and just beams this bottle at him. Bully Ray runs to the left. I'm hoping that James Storm threw the bottle to the right because the sound that it made, like if he had at him and he didn't move quick enough, that would have been
GG.
that would have been worse than what Kurt Angle did to Shane McMahon at King of the Ring when he kept, yo, I'm gonna put this glass through you.
Basically,
Yeah,
put it straight through your chest. Yeah, no, and the baby faces went over, as you can imagine. I mean, Team 3D pinned AMW, so I mean, we can't pin Jeff Jarrett because that's the world champ.
what's the Dudley Death Drop called in TNA? Did they have a name for it? They
I don't think they had a name for it.
well Team 3D dropped them with the 3D through the table and yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, GG,
Oh
the
no, no,
AMW.
it wasn't through the table.
It wasn't. I think the table was after, if I'm not mistaken, because
Yeah,
it was so at the end of it, Christian came back out to save the day as Captain Courageous and did the swerve, bro, because we're Vince Russo and this is what we do. Ripped
oh,
his shirt off and had Team Canada and made it seem like he was enjoying Team Canada,
yeah,
and then he
yeah.
turns and he hits him, and then I know he gave. I think it was Scott Demore the kill switch, whatever you want to call it.
I'm
I'm
pretty.
prettier at the time, and ends up setting Jeff Jarrett up for the 3D, as you coined it. This is his initiation into ECW to become the ECW champion later on,
Yeah,
doing the 3D with the Dudley
yeah,
Boys on Jeff Jarrett.
yeah. Because then it's Rhino, Bubba, Devon, and Christian. And I'm like, oh, look at this. They're setting up Christian. So then when he leaves, he's going to go to WWE, but he's not going to go straight to WWE. He's going to go to ECW and become the ECW. Didn't that happen?
Did happen. Not
That,
wrong.
that's his initiation. What? Team Canada, Team ECW.
But yeah, that was TNA Genesis '05. It was, I mean, like I said, it was a pretty good show as far as everything's considered.
It was better
Um,
than Taboo Tuesday.
Much better than Taboo Tuesday. We will catch y'all next time on the Wrestling Rewind with some Survivor Series '05. I don't know the exact date on it, but I know it's late November, so we'll catch y'all then. You can pitch yourself where you're at, what you're doing over there.
I am SOS Farm on Twitch, and I am Farm 7 on YouTube, and that's basically all that you can find me at.
SOS Rampages on the TikTok, on the Twitch, on the YouTube, obviously, X, all that good stuff. Discord. Come join the Society of Streamers Discord to come, watch some wrestling with us, chill out, game with us, all that good stuff. You can watch all of these live things because this is what we're
What
usually
you want?
watching them.
What you gonna do?
If you truly want to watch along with us, that's usually where we are watching this stuff at. So you can come and do that over there. I mean, that why not? If you want to follow along, you can follow along like that, or you can follow along yourselves. A lot of these things are on, like this right here is on the YouTube, and I need to start mentioning that at some point in time. So this is on YouTube if you want to watch along. Just go to the TNA website. You can find an easy copy of it on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube and TNA, for providing that wonderful job for y'all. But yeah, check out my gaming content on all the platforms and check out our wrestling content coming out soon. But with that being said, peace and all out.